Oh, I wonder what's going on today. Swinging in the jungles. I'm sorry. Welcome everyone. Sorry about that introduction you heard. That wasn't the proper introduction. But my name is Yu-Gi-Oh. You might know me from my shows. I'm one of the greatest duelists of all time. And if you don't know, if you want to become a dueler like me, of course, if you want to challenge me, you have to follow the simple rules, the instructions of what's going on. But I'm not familiarized with this camera in here. The person that put me on this camera is just, I don't understand him. I'm not even supposed to be in this real world. I'm supposed to be in the animated world. I just don't understand him. But he gave me these specific instructions to talk about in the deck of cards that I have in my hands, as you can see here, which is I have a 2 deck of cards in my hand, and it's just simple. Okay, number 1 is hit that subscribe button, as what quote unquote of what he said. If you hit that subscribe button, you will become the greatest duelist of all time, and you will not miss any of the episodes or shows that comes out, ladies and gentlemen. But if you ain't seen my shows, which is on Netflix, I have plenty of multiple ones. You can search me up. It's simple and easy. But anyways, he said make sure you hit that subscribe button and you leave a like, and possibly he said turn on notification bell, as quote unquote he said that is going to be where all the bangers are coming through, as well as you're going to be, entering a chance for a free shout out at the end of the video. So if you have a chance just to show this man support, then go ahead and follow his instructions as what he tells me to tell you guys through this camera. But I'm kind of done talking here because I'm not even supposed to be here. So, yeah. Yo, you already know who it is in the building, you feel me? Coming at you with the hot bangers in 2021, you feel me? Real 66 to TV, the OG in the building, you feel me? But I forgot one more thing to say. Squad in the building. My new ones, yes, I'm talking to you that's watching this right now. I'm talking about you that's watching this right now through this screen. Yes, talking to you. Yes, you. I ain't talking about to anybody else. I'm not talking to Yu-Gi-Oh over there. I'm talking directly to you, because I feel like everyone in my community, my squad out there, fans in the building, posies in the building, y'all really like my reviews on my channels. And I mean, y'all love my reviews on my channel. Like, I've seen amount of support in those videos of me doing reviews of products and all of that type of stuff. And I feel like y'all enjoy me doing this type of stuff. And if y'all enjoy me doing unboxing / reviews about different products, me explaining it the best way I can and understanding my knowledge to you, and this is very educational, by the way, and I'm very educational to you viewers out there. So if you want to know something about it, take a crack at it, you feel me? But today I'm gonna give you the same tools, I'm gonna give you the same ideas, I'm gonna give you the same treatment that I treat everyone else in my reviews on my channel. I'm going to give you my ideas, my thoughts about the product, the design of the product. I'm going to give you my opinion about it, my thoughts about it, and I'm also going to be giving you my review about the product, how I really think about it in my per standard. So in my opinion, I'm going to give you what I know, and hopefully you enjoy that and take that information, and hopefully you learn something from this, okay? So, you already know what's popping. You know how we do things on here, man. I usually do with water or snacks, but no need. We don't need that. We don't need those items. We don't need no water. We don't need no snacks, okay? But I'm just going to go ahead and start off by bringing the big gun in the building. Yes, I'm going to bring the big gun in the building. Sorry if I messed around with the camera. I'm so sorry about that. But as you see here, here is the big gun. Now, this is going to be an example, and I'm going to show you everything that's going to be going on in this case in particular. So this is going to be an example, like I said. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now, you probably wonder, real, where is the SSD card? Where's the SSD slot? Now, let me tell you something about SSDs in general. Some cases comes with the SSD slots in front of the case. You might get some in the back, which is in the back of your PC case. So the installation is going to be different in your scenario when you installing SSD cards in that genre, in that state of form. So you might have to unscrew the back of your case or untwist the back of the case, and you have to install it wherever scenario that you have, which is in a different case. If you have a different case than I, then the installation to the SSD card is going to be different, in my understanding here. So, but what mines have is I have two SSD slots in front, and these are the SSD trays. As you can see here, I have two of them in the front. Yours might look different than mine. Just want to tell you that in general. So everything is going to be different in your scenario. You might have the same thing as me. That's cool. And if you have the same thing as me, now you're on track. Because I went on Amazon to go pick up an SSD card. And you know, SSD cards are very important in the PC community. And it's just highly important in the PC community on YouTube about these SSD cards, and it's so valuable with these SSD cards, and it's just very important to the community. Like I said, this SSD card, I picked this up on Amazon, and it was a sale going on Amazon, and I went to go pick up this SSD card. I don't know what's going on with my voice, but I feel like something's going on with my voice, and I don't understand what's going on. But anyways, here is my SSD card that I picked up on Amazon, and it arrived yesterday. Actually, with this SSD card, arrived yesterday, last night, and I think it arrived around like 8:30 p.m. I believe. So I messed with this SSD card because it has this gold effect edition, and then it just has, you know, the name of the product right in front of it, and like it's going to give this gloss gold glow effect, if that makes any sense. And I was just really liking it in general. Okay, now what I did was I took the SSD tray out and I just installed the screws already on here. You don't necessarily have to do what I did, but I did that because I just want to get prepared, so I don't have to, when I get every part and I get everything here, I don't have to worry about, and doing the SSD. I just knock the SSD card out, out of the way, if that makes any sense. So my SSD card comes with 4 slots like so. It comes with 4 slots like so. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the screws. Let me show you what the screws look like. This is what the screws look like. Now, in some SSD cards, on the sides, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and they also have back ones like so. But in my case, mine goes straight in the front, like I said. So what I did was I took the tray out and I installed all 4 screws. And it's really simple and easy to install these SSD cards. Just to let you know that it's not too hard to install them inside of your case. But I understand with the cables and all those cable connectors, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a hassle when you get to that point when you installing your actual SSD card to every single cable that comes with it. So depending on your case, you might have slots, 3 slots. Mine's come with 3 slots, more opening for me to bring the cable and connect in these connectors like so. I don't know if you can see the connectors, but if you can, I have two connectors like so. I have the big connector and the like medium connector like so. This is where the cables is going to be coming through the SSD card. And it's just really simple and easy. I'm just going to place it down for the purpose of this video. I don't know why I keep moving the camera. My apologies. So now I'm gonna just take the screwdriver and put this towards the side. And now I can get to the point about the big bang. Okay, so let me set this case over here like so that don't be in the way, because this is highly important right here. This is the big one right here. That I'm really excited about this one. Voila, bon appetit, ladies and gentlemen. The motherboard has came through. Actually, this motherboard came through today. So yesterday it was supposed to arrive here yesterday, but because of late deliveries, it was a delay in deliveries. It actually arrived today. And this package right here arrived at 9:30 p.m. So, which is late at night over here where I'm from. But I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all that 360 and we'll talk about it, shall we? All right, now we ready for the big part. So the one thing I want to say about this one in particular, in this motherboard, the box that comes with it, with everything in it, your motherboard is going to be different. A lot of motherboards are different. You have MSI motherboards. You have a lot of different motherboards, but they all work the same, okay? They all work the same. The installation is the same. The installing, everything inside of your motherboard is the same. The only difference is that it's just a different motherboard and just a different brand of the motherboard and what it looks like on the motherboard, okay? But the only difference is what I'm going to be telling you inside. That's what's going to be different, okay? So this motherboard right here, I like this box. I like how all the layouts about this box. I really like how everything is labeled on the box. It just gives us gamers the attraction to motherboards and the necessity to motherboards. And I just really like this motherboard in particular because it was a really good deal on Amazon and it was a lot of ratings. It was a lot of ratings about this motherboard in particular. So I went with the highest rating for this motherboard. I have no experience over motherboards. I don't really know about the functions about the motherboard, but I do know a little something about motherboards here. So like I said, I like the design of the box, like I said, and like I said, I like the layout, what it looks so professional in my opinion. In reality, it looks professional. And actually, these motherboards, the box is just small. It's just small. People make it look big. These tech YouTubers make these motherboards look so big. Some motherboards are big, some of them are small, but this one is small in particular, okay? This is the A320M-S2H. This is the Ryzen motherboard. Let me just go ahead and open it up and we can go ahead and get started, shall we? So I'm gonna go ahead and so y'all can see everything. Hopefully y'all can see everything. Oh man, I'm already liking this right here. Look at that. I'm really liking this right here. Okay, so in a motherboard, you should have a plastic bag. The plastic bag is for a good purpose. It's for your motherboard not to get shocked when you install it to your into your case. This motherboard in particular has this anti-static bag here. So the anti-static bag is for especially if you having electricity and all that stuff like that, and it protects your motherboard from not getting shocked. And a lot of tech YouTubers will talk about the anti-static wristband that I don't have with my kit. My kit doesn't have an anti-static wristband, but if you have an anti-static wristband, most likely you will need an anti-static wristband, because it's important, because you don't want to shock any components on the motherboard that potentially is going to fry your motherboard, and you have to go buy you another motherboard, which is just mad bogus. But a lot of YouTubers will tell you about the anti-static wristband, and it's so important to have an anti-static wristband so you don't have to face those problems, okay? So in this case right here, it comes with these connectors here, these cable connectors here. I don't know what these are for. No, I know what these are. I know what this is for now. Okay, so this one right here, if I go ahead and open this up for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so these are, let's see which one is for. Okay, so this one right here, I believe this is for, it's for something. I just know it by heart, but I just can't put my thumb and get it off my tongue. But these are for the cable for the motherboard. These are very important, so I need you to keep this inside the box actually. So the other dude that explained this, he didn't explain it very well, and I was very upset in that reaction video. So he didn't explain, really, he was just talking, man. He don't know what he's talking about. But let me tell you, keep all of the cables, keep all of that inside of the box so you don't lose this. So if you have something like this, if you have a bag that comes with it, keep it inside, okay? Or keep it in the box, because you don't want to lose anything. And like I said, it's just highly important, okay? So don't lose these, okay? So let me just go ahead and pull the motherboard outside of the box like so. And let's see what comes. Before I open this motherboard right here, the actual motherboard inside of this anti-static bag right here, I'm just going to put this towards the side like so. As you see here, it comes with the IO shield. And as that dude was talking about in that reaction video I made about that, he called it, bruh, this is the IO shield. I don't know why bruh, I was just done with that reaction video, but this is the IO shield. It goes for the motherboard. It's for the motherboard. This is the IO shield that goes in the back of the case, and I will show you how to install that today. Let's see what else comes inside of here. As you see here, it comes with the manual. In your scenario, in your case, your motherboard should have a manual. If it doesn't have a manual, then most likely you need to look up what your motherboard actually is. But in some cases, in general, you should have a manual to your motherboard. And your motherboard manual is highly important. This is where it's going to tell you where all the connectors, all the gadgets to connect it to your motherboard. So that's highly important. So keep this in hand. And as you see here, it comes with a disk drive. As you can see, it comes with a disk like so. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put these two connectors back in the box. I'm going to do it the professional way and not do it the wrong way. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually, we don't need this box as a matter of fact. So I'm going to just put this box toward the side. I don't need this box at all, but we're going to need this box right here. Okay. Again, here's the IO shield right here. Now, different IO shields like the MSI motherboard, theirs have a logo on it. Actually, their IO shield has a logo on it, and they also have a logo on the motherboard for MSI motherboard. But usually, in different scenarios, in different cases, if you don't get a logo with yours, that's just fine. You know what I'm saying? Just fine. I mean, I don't know how to explain with the IO shield about the design. I mean, it's just a different design to these different motherboards and these different IO shields and stuff like that. So keep that in mind, okay? So I'm just going to close up the box like so. And listen very closely, ladies and gentlemen. This is highly important. This is very important. Do not follow what that dude was talking about. Do not follow him. He was so, it was just trash. He was explaining everything just wrong, just completely wrong, and treating his stuff like it's not. Oh man, I'm still kind of upset about that video, man. He don't know what he's talking about. So the professional way is, and a lot of tech YouTubers will tell you, take your motherboard outside of the box and put it on top of the box. Now, I explained that in that reaction video that I did about his situation. I was telling you guys that it's highly important to take your motherboard outside of the plastic bag like so. Make sure you be careful, because these motherboards are very, very delicately, if that makes, I don't know how to explain things, man. Oh my goodness. What I'm trying to say is that these motherboards are very, very, very important. Do not bend your motherboard. Do not slam it on the ground. Do not have your cousins, friends, or family or foe. Do not let anybody play with this motherboard, because if you allow that to happen, potentially you can mess up your motherboard and it will not look pretty on your motherboard at all. So do not, and please do not mess with this motherboard until you have all the parts at your crib, okay? So to make this more professional, as what everyone does, you're gonna put it on top of the box, like so. And honestly, I don't think you should put your motherboard on a flat surface on the floor. Make sure you put your motherboard somewhere that it's a workable space. Do not put it somewhere that it's going to be tampered with, or any item is going to be interfering with the motherboard here, because your motherboard is very delicate and you do not want to mess up your motherboard at all, ladies and gentlemen. So keep that in mind. Make sure the professional way in how to put the motherboard on top of a box, it's just simple, putting the motherboard on top of the box. Make sure you in an area that is just quiet, with nothing around you that's going to be interfering in your scenario, in your case. Okay, so I'm gonna put it on top of the box here like so. Now what you're going to do with this IO shield, I'm gonna get to that in the into a moment, about the case with the IO shield in the back of the case in just a second. But I'm just gonna put this towards the side like so. Okay, now as you see here, let me just talk about everything that's going on with your motherboard. Okay, now so now I'm trying to keep this. Don't do what I'm doing, okay? Do not do what I'm doing. This is not safe at all. If you have a wooden floor or any type of different floor, do not do what I'm doing, because you can potentially break your motherboard and it will not be very good at all. So I'm just doing this for the purpose of this video. And make sure you held this motherboard very gently as well, because like I said, it's very delicate, and these all these functions on the motherboard is very important. So do not end up holding it in the wrong way, because you could potentially mess with the little pins to the motherboard, and those little pins, you're gonna have some issues in trying to fix that situation, because you are doing it the wrong way like I'm doing, which that is not safe at all. Okay, so this right here, this is where the CPU is going to be installed. Like I said, in different motherboards, the CPU is going to look different in your scenario, okay? But some motherboards might look the same. This motherboard has this gray little knob right here. This CPU basically is for, cooling, you know what I'm saying? If you have a CPU cooler, if you have one of them stock coolers, all of that sweet jazz. That's what everything, pretty much this is where the brain is at, okay? So the easiest way a lot of people will tell you is you will flip this notch, you would just pull it out just a little bit. When you pull it out just a little bit, you want to flip up the mouse trap. When you flip up the notch, and when you flip up the gray long extension, which is going to be the mouse trap, this is your mouse trap. I'm using the example. This is your mouse trap. You want to, let me show you just again for this purpose of this video. You want to pull it just a little bit, not too much. You don't have to use too much force, okay? You want to pull it up like so. And when you pull it up like so, it should look something like this. It should look something like this in your scenario, in your case, in your different motherboard. But most likely in general, it goes for the same exact way. So again, I'm gonna show you one more time so you can understand. You want to pull this motherboard, the little gray long extension, your mouse trap, you want to pull it on the side just a little bit, lift it up, okay? And once you lift that up, then you can install the CPU inside of this. Make sure you installing your CPU very correctly. The little tiny device, okay? The little tiny device is very important, very important. And let me just take this off so I can show you an example, okay? Now, for your CPU on your motherboard, you should see a triangle. That triangle is going to indicate where you should install your CPU. That triangle is going to be where it's going to help you to guide where your CPU is going to be installed. Okay, so just to let you know that, and a future reference, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's highly, highly, highly important. Is when you installing a CPU, make sure you look for the indicator, which is that triangle right here. You have to look for that triangle on the side, which is right here. That triangle is going to help to where your CPU is going to be installed. And matter of fact, it's not on this side. I'm so sorry for pointing it to this side. It's not going to be right here. Actually, on my motherboard, my CPU installation is on this side right here. But if you listen and you understand what I'm talking about, the CPU, you always want to look for that triangle, that bottom triangle. Do not follow what I was talking about on this side, okay? In general, in person, mine has a triangle and it's pointing facing downwards. But you want to look for that triangle on a CPU facing that same direction. And make sure when you have your CPU little tiny device, indicate that triangle and match it with that same triangle, which is on the CPU motherboard right here. And again, it's right here. Okay. I tried to explain that the best way I can. Hopefully you understand. So when you grab a CPU, do not touch those golden nuggets. Do not touch those golden pins, because you can potentially end up breaking your CPU little tiny device, and those little tiny pins goes inside of that CPU, right inside the motherboard. Do not play around with that at all. You want to grab the little tiny device on the sides. You're gonna grab it on the sides like this, and it's okay to grab it on the sides. Don't end up putting a lot of pressure and grabbing it like it's some type of, no, you don't want to, because that little device goes inside of your motherboard. So you grab it on the sides and you face it, you put it where that triangle. Remember, oh shit, I'm so sorry about that. The camera moved, my sorry. So, you remember that I was talking about indicate that triangle? Well, what you would do is you would take that and grab it on the side and you place it down just gently, because these little tiny holes is where the little pins is going to be placed at, okay? So you want to place it just gently and just let it drop, okay? Now, once you certified and it's really in there, you take this gray extension, you lower it down, and you put it back in place. And that's how you install a CPU, okay? Now, these screws right here, this is for the cooler. This is for your stock cooler, whatever cooler that you have. If you have a Ryzen, which comes with the fan with thermal paste. Now, it's up to you if you want to install your own thermal paste, but usually your fan comes with thermal paste already pre-applied on it, and that's just enough. A lot of tech YouTubers will tell you about you can, install your own, or you can, if yours is just like very bad and you've been using it for a while and you want to install a new one, then you have to get some type of ointment to remove the thermal paste off of the CPU, and then and go through that whole situation, okay? But usually your fan should come with with thermal paste already on it, so you just don't have to worry about it. It should already come pre-applied on your fans. I mean on your cooler, your fan cooler, if that makes any sense. Okay. Now, to install your fan cooler, it should be, in your scenario, in a different motherboard. In different motherboards, it will be labeled like so. It will be labeled for you so that you don't have to worry about it. It should be labeled for you. I'm trying to show you. It should be labeled for you. It's a matter of fact. So it should be labeled on your motherboard to where to install that at. Okay, if that makes any sense. Okay. And then right here, ladies and gentlemen, you have your RAM stick drives. Now, in some cases, ladies and gentlemen, you might have 4. You might have 2, like me. And they all built different. They all don't look the same. But mine's come with 2 RAM sticks. These RAM sticks are very important. And the installation to installing a RAM is very important. It's very important. The way how, especially if you have 4 of them, it's very important to consult your manual and see how you install your RAM sticks. Okay, it's very important. If you look on your manual and confront your manual, which is to the motherboard, and it will tell you how to install your RAM sticks. Okay, if that makes any sense. Okay. Now, on this motherboard right here, I have, if you can see here, you see this right here? This is for that little flash drive, if that makes any sense. That long little, it looks like a diving board. And you can also, on this motherboard, I can install it if I wanted to. I can buy and install it if I wanted to. But this part, you can go ahead and install it if you want to, okay? All right. So now it is time to put this IO shield. It's time to put this IO in the case, okay? Please ignore the background noise. I apologize about that. I'm just gonna put this towards the side, okay? Now I'm just gonna bring the case and I'm going to, okay, so this is how you do this, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and face it just like this, okay? I'm gonna face the case just like this so you can see. Hopefully y'all sticking with the program here. I'm trying to explain everything the best way I can. But take your IO shield. Like I said, it's different IO shields. In the beginning of the video I was talking about, it's a lot of different IO shields. Just got different layout and a different type of layout and style of the IO shield. But all the IO shields should be the same. But all you want to do is indicate where it should be installed. It should be installed in this area right here. The IO shield should be installed in this area in the back of your PC case. So now what you want to do is, a lot of people will tell you is apply a little bit of pressure, but not too much pressure, until you hear a snap. If you hear a little click, a little snap, that lets you know it's in place. So line up your IO shield. The best way I can tell you is line it up on the sides, in my opinion, and then hear that little snap. But you will hear it eventually, and you will get it eventually. It's not too hard to install an IO shield, but it's just tough. So I'm just gonna, you hear that little snap? Did you hear that snap? You hear that snap? And make sure that it's, and double make sure that it's completely installed. Make sure it's completely installed. Make sure you install it the right way. That's just highly important. But if you heard that click, that's the click that you are going to hear that it's snapped in place. So let me just show you again. Okay? Let me just show you one more time of that clicking noise, okay? Let me show you again. And I'm gonna be quiet this time so you can hear that clicking noise. And if you complete beginner, I can understand that. I'm a beginner at this, but you know, we all gotta learn the hard way, right? And there we go. Your IO shield is officially installed. So let me remind you again. Your IO shield, you should hear an audible click. If you hear that click, that means you installed the IO shield correctly, okay? And if you don't hear that click, then you need to install it the right way, okay? Now, let me just go ahead and put it on the ground here. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of YouTubers and tech YouTubers will tell you to face it down. The face it down is just so much easier, and you don't have to worry about struggling, okay, in your scenario, okay? So this is highly important. I'm gonna need you to grab your I/O shield. Grab your motherboard. And the best way to explain this is you need to take your motherboard, align these indicators, if that makes any sense, align and confront this and make sure it match the motherboard. Make sure it match that I/O shield match with these options right here. That is highly important, okay? The best way I can tell you is make sure that you are installing it the right way. Let me see if I can show you. Let me see here. I want to show y'all this in full detail, man. I don't want to leave nothing out, okay? Here, let me see. I think I can do it like this. I think I can do it like that, okay? Nah. Okay. All right. So, the best way I can tell you is make sure you align your I/O shield with these indicators, if that makes any sense, okay? So what you're gonna do is, let me see if okay, y'all can see that? Cool, okay. So what you're gonna do is, sometimes here's a tip. A good thing is take out your fan, take out your back fan, so that way it can be more easier to install your motherboard inside of the I/O shield. That's just my opinion. But what you would do is, I forgot to tell y'all. I forgot to say. So in your case, if you don't have these screws that comes inside of your case, now a lot of cases you might have to install them. You don't necessarily have to install them. But in my case, mine was pre-installed onto my case. So what you want to do, and let me show you an example, okay? So do you see these little indicators here? That's where you're going to screw inside of your case. And you want to align your motherboard up with those screws. Okay. It's not safe doing what I'm doing here. It is not okay, and do not listen to me about how I'm doing this. This is not safe at all. But you want to do it the right way, okay? That's the goal here. You want to do this the right way. That's the goal here. Okay? So you basically want to line up those little indicators on your motherboard with the screws, if that makes any sense. And that will help you out. Okay? It should be something like this. I don't want to tilt it up too much, and then it'll fall, and that will be a bad situation. I'm just trying to show you what it should look like. And those little tiny holes that you see on your motherboard is where you're going to screw in your screws to screw in the motherboard on your case, okay? So you basically just want to line up your I/O shield with your motherboard to make it more understandable, and then it should be easy cupcakes as that. So you don't have no issues with that. So That's the most important part that a lot of people has issues with. If which is this the installation. Yeah, but it should be something like this, at least. And then again, I'm gonna keep reminding you, make sure you screw it in the right way, okay? That's the best way I can tell you how to install a motherboard, in my opinion. You don't have to listen to what I have to say. You might know more about me. You might know a little bit more in detail, but this is just the knowledge that I know of. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the motherboard out. I was just what I was doing was just testing to see where I'm going to be installing it. But yeah, man, the best way to install your motherboard inside of the case is aligning it with the IO shield indicators. The IO shield indicators. Line up your motherboard indicator with the indicators on the IO shield, and then inside of your case, you're gonna put it. If, like I say, in your case, you might have screws already installed onto your motherboard. If not, install those screws. Mine's, as a matter of fact, let me tell you, my motherboard comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me just go ahead and count them again so you can understand how many that I have for my screws inside of the case that's going to fit in my scenario, in your scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my motherboard has 5 slots. Hopefully I'm counting that right. Okay. And to install the cooler, I just want to remind everyone, to install a cooler, you just unscrew these little hinges here, take them off, and then handle that situation. Okay. So I forgot to talk about these important parts here. So my motherboard has 5 USB ports. Actually, count that as 7 imports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's 6 imports for my USB. Then I have which is the microphone. I have the microphone audio, headphone audio, and I do not know what that blue one is for. And then you have these. You have the HDMI right here in my motherboard. You should have an HDMI with your motherboard. You might have 1, you might have 2. Mine has 1 HDMI. And then here is the little tiny pins that you need to be careful with. These are highly important. Like I was saying, holding your motherboard in your hands, don't do what I'm doing with my motherboard, because that is very bad, because you can end up potentially dropping your motherboard. And like I said, these are very important, so do not do what I'm doing, but I'm showing an example. But these are your little tiny pins that you can end up really breaking if you are putting that amount of force on your motherboard. Then you have these slots here, and in some motherboards, ladies and gentlemen, in some motherboards, They will have them labeled for you so you can understand your motherboard, you know, in full detail. So some motherboards have them labeled for you so you can understand where to put everything at. And honestly, with the motherboard that's labeled, that's highly a big old plus in my book, because not only it's helpful, but it's very helpful a lot when everything is labeled. And then I have my power connector here. This is where the power should go. That big old piece that comes from your power. So your power brig. Please tell me I'm not saying that wrong with the power. Did I say power brig? Bro, now you making me sound like this dude, bro. But yeah, as you can see here, it is just so helpful that it's labeled on my motherboard. It's labeled. I don't know if you can see that, but hopefully you can. My motherboard is labeled. Just trying to show you. And again, it's not safe to hold your motherboard like this, so don't do what I'm doing. Have your motherboard on the box like this. Have your motherboard on the box like this. And don't do what I was doing. Okay, but I did that to show you everything I know about this. Let me put these chores aside here, like so. All right, everyone. Hopefully y'all understand what I was talking about. Hopefully you understand everything that I was trying to explain. I tried to explain the best possible way that I can. So all I ask for is to leave a big thumbs up. Leave a like for Yu-Gi-Oh! With the introduction. Shout out goes to Yu-Gi-Oh! For helping me out with this video. Hopefully you know, learn something from this. Hopefully you learn your mistakes. Hopefully you don't make those mistakes, and do not do what that YouTuber that I react to. Do not do what he's doing. Listen to me, or listen to the professional YouTubers that will help you out of installing your custom gaming PC. Again, all my parts coming on the channel very soon. Everything is coming very soon, man, and I can't wait to install everything and you know, get my stuff up and running to ready to stream, record, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Better quality and everything like that. So I wish everyone good luck. Hopefully you learned something for this. Tell me in the comments down below if you learned something from this. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.